Do you remember that feeling? Waking up in the winter and the cold just cuts right to your bones? Well, my friend, if you lived through the winter mornings of the 60s and 70s, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was a different time, a different life. And believe me, we not only survived, we still had the courage to smile. Back then, there was no central heating or remote controls for a warm bed. We'd wake up and know it was going to be a battle. The cold snuck in from every corner, through cracks in the door, poorly sealed windows, and the icy floor that felt like real ice under your bare feet. And you know what? We didn't complain much. It was just how life was. But I want to ask you something. Do you remember the windows? The ones that were frozen on the inside? I'm not talking about frost outside. I mean that layer of ice that formed on the inner pane of glass. That white, crystallized layer looked like a painting from nature. We'd run our fingers over it, drawing a heart, a name, or a little smiley face on the icy surface. It was magical, but it was also a sign that it was truly freezing out there. And oh, how hard it was to get out from under those heavy blankets. Those woolen blankets weighed a ton. They were a little itchy, but they kept us warm like a tight hug from Grandma. We'd stay all wrapped up knowing we'd soon have to face the cold world. The courage didn't come easy. We'd procrastinate until someone shouted from the kitchen, "The coffee's on the table." That was the push we needed, because the promise of something warm was worth the sacrifice. You'd slowly get up, the cold creeping up your legs, run to the bathroom and wash your face with water that felt like it came straight from the ice. There was no heated bathroom, no warm towel waiting. But do you know what made it all worthwhile? What turned that morning struggle into something special? It was the hot chocolate. Ah, that was a divine reward. Mom would be in the kitchen, stirring milk and chocolate in a pan on the stove, that smell filling the entire house. Sometimes she'd add a piece of cinnamon, other times it was just pure chocolate. When you held that hot mug in your hands, my God, the world felt like a better place. The warmth would travel up your arms and into your chest with each sip. It was life returning to your body. We'd all sit at the kitchen table, drinking our hot chocolate, eating bread and butter, and talking about the day ahead. Dad complaining about the cold, Mom getting things organized, siblings arguing over something silly. It was simple, but it was ours. You know what I miss? That simplicity. The ability we had to turn a difficult morning into a good memory. Because the cold was real, not like today where a little breeze has you reaching for the thermostat. It was a bone-chilling cold, the kind where you could see your breath in little puffs of smoke. But we faced it together, as a family, with that hot chocolate as our reward. Then came the ritual of getting ready. Piling on clothes, one shirt on top of another, a thick coat, a scarf Grandma had crocheted, wool socks up to our knees. We looked like little snowmen, but at least we were protected. And then we'd head out, ready for the icy wind and the fine drizzle that made the cold even deeper. But coming home at the end of the day, that was another beautiful story. You knew there'd be a fire going, a hot meal, that cozy feeling of home. There was no Netflix, no cell phones. What we had was family gathered around, talking, telling stories. I know life is more comfortable now, but sometimes I wonder if we haven't lost something. We lost the ability to value the simple things, to find joy in a cup of hot chocolate, to warm ourselves in a family hug instead of turning on a device. Life was harder, yes, but it was also more real, more intensely lived. Those winter mornings taught us to be strong, that family is our safe haven, and that the greatest joys come in the simplest forms. They taught us that the cold outside is much easier to bear when you have warmth inside your home and in your heart. So, I invite you to remember those mornings. Bring back those memories, taste that hot chocolate again, and see those frozen windows. Be grateful for living through it, because those harsh winters warmed our souls for a lifetime. Thanks for watching.